up, guys? Welcome to episode 22 of Private Lesson. This week's episode, working with Jordan at Tomahawk MX, and we are working basically a pretty big step up into a right-hand turn. He was either jumping it and going off the track or way ridiculously far outside, or he had to roll it to get to the inside. So the goal for this session was just to downside the jump and still hit his main line. Thank you guys again. Finally hit 20,000 subscribers. So like I said, we're gonna do a fun little giveaway here. I have 2 full sets of gear. So all logoed up and everything, pretty cool. And we got the blue, which was some of my favorite stuff this season. And got the pants for each. So 2 people are gonna win, and how we're gonna do this, I'm gonna ask you guys 2 trivia questions about me, and first person to comment the correct answer in the comment section is gonna win. Question 1, what was my best 250 Supercross finish, main event finish? So year, city, position, best 250 Supercross main event finish. And then for the other set, what is my best 450 Supercross main event finish? Same thing. Year, city, and what position I got. So first 2 to comment the correct answers for those 2 are going to get full sets of FXR gear. Any of you guys looking to buy FXR gear, I'm going to put a promo code for 30% off in my bio, so check that out. For anyone that hasn't subscribed, just hit the subscribe button below and comment videos you want to see, all that good stuff. But thanks guys, enjoy the video. Work right now basically all boils down to just the art of being able to clear a big jump or any jump and make a turn in time, right?
Yeah.
So I asked you before, why weren't you doing your fast lap? Your answer was just, oh, I was trying to make the inside so I could set up the left-hand turn down there, which ultimately that's cool to me that you're thinking that far ahead. Most people would only be thinking a couple feet ahead, where you weren't doing this jump so that you could hit the left-hander way the heck down there better. Which it's good thinking, but it's possible to jump this, take the inside, and still get to the line you want for that left-hand turn. First things first, when we're hitting a jump and trying to make a tight turn, we need to get pop. So we need to preload and or seat bounce and get the height so when we come down we could actually get stopped rather than soaking up or scrubbing a jump, because that's going to lawn dart us and push us straight. So when we go to stop or land, we're going to have so much forward momentum it's going to be hard to actually get on the brakes and get stopped. So we need to try to find a part of the takeoff that's got the most lift. Looking at this takeoff, where would you guess that's got the most lift?
Probably right here, or probably this line where you can see where it's a little wet, or this one where it has a little rut but it looks like it has a kicker almost.
So anywhere basically from here over to here. It's not necessarily as tall of a takeoff right here as it is there, but it's got a nice transition to it. Where on this side, I know it's hard to see from down there, especially with the camera. But what the takeoff does here is it kind of flattens out, and then it's got a little bit of a hole. That side doesn't. That side is like this the whole way up. So that's first thing. I know it doesn't create the best angle for the turn, but it's going to give us way more pop hitting it there as opposed to here. I mean, especially if you're riding this edge of the track, there's no lip at all there. That's just going to lawn dart you straight through. You want to hit that part of the takeoff. Just like I've been telling you on all these other jumps, you're going to be surprised with how much space you have on the right-hand side when you land that thing. And I know that was probably your fear there. It's been your fear in a couple of these jumps. You're like, oh, if I hit it this far right, it seems like looking at the takeoff that you're going to land on nothing or land off the side of the track. A lot of times I mean, look at the landing of that one. Mm-hmm. It's narrower on top, and then the landing kind of bows out on both sides like this. So typically you have that. Obviously you want to assess it before, but I'm telling you, you have room on that right side to make that happen. So you want to aim pretty far right. And what happens here too is the landing in the middle forms a big hole. Yeah. Usually. Is it there now or not too bad?
It's not bad right now.
It's there, but it's like subtle, right? Mm-hmm. Like when you land, it's, oh, there's a little something. If you land as far right as I typically do, no one goes over there, so it's perfectly smooth. You have plenty of time when you land that thing to the tractor tire on the inside to get on your brakes. But when you get to that tractor tire, we have to make sure we're off the brakes so that we can turn that motorcycle. What a lot of people do when they, first of all, they're not totally comfortable jumping this yet, so that's the first problem. But then when they land, they're like, oh crap, I gotta brake. By the time they're off the brakes, they're already almost in the fence.
Mm-hmm.
When you're hitting the rear brake, it's gonna stand the bike up and it's gonna send you straight. So you have to brake aggressive, but shorten that braking zone as short, like as small of a time period as you can, so you can get that thing turned. So you wanna hit the steep part of the takeoff, work down with the bike in the transition. So you wanna kinda do like a preload, right?
Yep.
It's not the opposite where we're soaking up, where we stand tall and then we eat up the top of the takeoff, because that's soaking up. So we preload, time that with like a ramp up of the accelerations. We're not doing your typical blip that you like to do, but it's a ramp up of the acceleration of the RPMs. And then this is a perfect situation to take that tire tap that we just learned and to start to utilize that, because when we're getting to the downside, to brake with the front and rear, both tires have to be on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going and getting all the way, but we're landing on the downside like this, you're gonna lose an extra 10 or 15 feet, or probably even more than that, honestly. By the time that front tire hits, the bike gets settled, okay, now we can brake. If you're in the air, tap that rear brake, get it nice and level. As soon as you land, we can get aggressive on the brakes, because that bike's gonna be settled. Both tires at the same time are gonna hit, and you're gonna be able to get on the brakes instantly. If we're slapping the front down, you're gonna lose a lot of time before you can get on those brakes, and it's too late.
Yeah, that's how I was always hitting it.
That's kind of how you were doing it before. Even if you case this thing, it's got such a rolled landing. Landing on top with the front tire first is gonna push you through and keep both tires on the ground. I could case it right up at the top and not really get any bounce at all. Where if you case it on the top, but land with the front end lofted, you're gonna slap the front, and then you're gonna end up getting bounce off the top of it.
Mm-hmm.
You're not gonna be able to stop that way either. So step one of being able to get this properly is, first of all, timing of the jump. So he's got to work on that first. All right, so that was attempt one. If he had just simply added rear brake to that, that would have been perfect. All right, what would have made that absolutely perfect?
The brake tap.
Brake tap, and you would have downsided perfect, and that would have been it right there on attempt one. We need about 7 more feet of distance. Yeah. And try to inch your way a little more right if you can. Things. One, we need the downshift from 4th to 3rd.
Midair.
Yeah, in the air while you get your brake tap. So we need to be doing that pretty much simultaneously. And then, because that distance read was perfect and the brake tap was perfect, now we have to fix your attack position once you landed, because you were in such a rush to try to do whatever you were doing once you landed that you just did this as you're trying to hit the brakes. Notice how the one time that I demonstrated the far inside line, what did I do?
Stood up the whole way.
Stood up the whole way, because I made sure, no matter what, that I was staying in that strong attack position, that my knees didn't come forward. It just gives me the most stability as I come through. So do not go into the sitting position, just practice it standing up. And then maybe once we get a few passes of you getting the inside line stand up only, then we can begin to get you sitting down. Right. But do not sit down when you're trying to brake aggressive here, and then make sure you add in a downshift in the air so you can get some extra engine brake when you stop. Right. But whatever throttle you just hit it, whatever speed in 4th gear, that's exactly what you have to do every time.
Right. right, so I saw you got the downshift, but it was the last second. It was like you forgot until like right before you landed, and then you got it. And once you landed here, you resorted back to your weird crouched position. Stand up, knees back. Do not sit until you're turning around. Or even then, shoot, just stand the whole freaking time. Break the habit. That's why I put you in that oval to start the day, is to form your habit. Your reset, like in panic situations, when in doubt, stand up in your attack position. Right now, your when in doubt is like just going into this weird crouching sitting position, and it's not safe. Close. Best one yet, best one yet. Okay. Now, we're gonna put something on the line. I'm gonna set this cone up where you went that last couple times. And you have to go to the inside of that cone, or you owe me 30 push-ups. If you do it 3 or 4 or 5 times in a row, I'm just gonna keep inching it further inside until we get you to where I want you in that turn. All right, wasn't pretty, but he got it. The reason I just moved it from there to there is so that he actually turns to get inside of it and doesn't just create an angle and go off the track, but to the right side of it, because he kind of cheated it that time. He's actually gonna have to turn this one. There we go. Come on, come on. Nice. You know what actually made that happen was you getting on the gas.
I just noticed that because I wasn't, like my front end wasn't wobbling.
Yeah, like you were brake, but then you could see it. You got on the gas here because you're like, screw it, I'm committing. There's no way I'm going outside of that cone. And as soon as you got on the gas, your bike turned and started going where you wanted it to. All right, that was great. And you've stayed in a pretty good attack position while doing it. I'm gonna leave the cone stationary for a few times. Let's just try to get that consistent.
All right.
I think he missed the downshift that time, but he willed his way to it.
Missed the downshift.
Yep, that's what I guessed. All right, let's make it happen. That was awesome, by the way.